What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing good. But today we are in Delaware, and I wanted to stop by the Concord Mall and take a trip back to the 90s because I used to be one of them 90 malls kids. So let's go.
Hold up.
Okay, so as we first entered the mall, there was something that I had not seen in a long time, and that was one of the reasons I came here. Was an actual payphone. Like I hadn't seen one of these since like the late 90s, so that was a nice little throwback of what we were about to come in and see. Now, originally, I had started recording on my phone, but for whatever reason, it was kind of choppy. So give me 1 second. We might have to switch this up just a little bit. I'm not liking the way this is looking. So hold on. Let me just fix this, okay? Okay. Okay, there. That should be better. So as we first entered the mall, I was taken back by the trees, and there were palm trees, and that was a sign of like older malls. They always had like fresh plants and living. They made it wanted to make it seem outdoorish. And as we first came around the corner, I was really thrown off by seeing an actual Sears sign, which I hadn't seen in a long time. A little bit about that Sears. It was originally a Jefferson Ward, which became a Bradley's in 1986. And then the Bradley's became a Sears in 1989. And that Sears had closed in April of 2020. And I'm surprised they hadn't done anything. It looked like you know, you could still go shopping in there. They could reset it up. It looked pretty nice. But a little bit about the mall's history. It was open March 11th, 1969. And opening day, they gave thermometers to guests that entered the mall to ensure that the temperature was 72 degrees. That was kind of a nice little throwback that I saw doing research for this mall. Um, in February 1970, a single screen movie theater had opened, and in 1980, that was redesigned into a twin movie theater, which stayed open till 1999. Now, one thing I had noticed upon entering the mall, it seemed like more stores were occupied than other malls I had been to. But the stores that were empty, they looked like they were recently empty, and I was wondering why. A lot of these stores I didn't know the names to. So if you know any of the names of the stores that were in this video, please feel free to leave the comment below, like always. But I love the setup. This mall was redesigned in 1994 and had stayed this way over the last 30 plus years. So it was definitely a throwback to an earlier time when malls were popular. Visiting this mall on a Thursday, you could tell it wasn't that busy. I wasn't expecting it to be, but I don't know. And one other thing, I did expect the mall to be bigger. All the hype over this Burger King that had been found. That was one of the reasons why I came down here. But I just thought like the mall would be more packed or bigger, and it actually was a pretty small mall in my opinion. But as you can see, like there's the Foot Locker, there's more trees, more plants. I do like the aesthetics on the mall though. Now, March 9th of 1972, there was an expansion which included Pomeroy's and Friendly's. They were among the others to build this mall to 70 stores, and now it was 650,000 square feet of just mall encompassed in one area. So, as we approach this, well, there's the famous footwear, but approaching this waterfall, I was hoping it would be on. Like, I just like seeing that I think there's two waterfalls in this mall. But let me know if in the comments if I'm wrong, if there's a third one I might have missed. But this one right here really stood out to me. As you can see right here, there's a big clock that's nice. It's still beautiful after all these years. The plants, the vegetation, just all around the edges, just did it justice, and the skylight above just made it that much easier to stand out in this mall. I do like the skylights in this mall, so I'm kind of glad they were supposed to make it a second story, but I'm kind of glad it just stayed the way it is. Now, originally, this is where I thought the Burger King might have been, like, hidden behind a wall. Like, I don't see why they would take it down. It's such a, like, it would be like an attraction to people like me who like history. And here goes the Hair Studio King. There's, it seems like there's a lot of buildings that have recently left this area, and I'm wondering why. Is it because of the new owners, or is it just because? And I wanted to go down this hallway because I wanted to see if there was maybe some sort of like hidden gem. Like sometimes on the edges there's restaurants or something that are attached to the mall but outside. Sadly, there were none. This is just like another entrance and basically the office. So let's go back to exploring the mall. Now right here is where the Macy's was. I wish I had gotten more of it, but because it's something maybe you're just gonna have to come see, and that might be a good point to get you to come to this mall. Like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but then when I saw the Macy's, it's definitely something worth coming down to check out, especially if you're into like vintage history type stuff. Hmm. Mm. Zelda never. Yeah. Okay, now this area that we're now coming to is where the original Pomeroy's was back in 1972. This is what became Boscov's in 1989, and this is where it remains. This is the very end of the mall, so as you can see, I'm turning the corner, trying to get like as much inside shots as I can. But right there, you can see the Boscov's, and you can see the other waterfall. There are a couple places left in this mall, so I can't say there's not a completely dead food court. Um, it's just sad to see that none of these waterfalls are on. These were probably something really nice to look at and just, throw pennies in like we used to. You can see the box cops there. You can see another closed store. I don't know if it's because it was a Thursday or like there's just nothing going on in the stores that are closed, and they all look like they were recently closed. We had to get some Ann's pretzels, but coming down here, here's the food court. I was thinking maybe this is where the Friendlies was, but nope, that's not where it was either. Now then, this coming up, I actually like this idea. They made the wall really nice, and they had put a TV there, and they used the TV for advertising. So I really like that idea. Um, if you can see they have a piano in the back. I wasn't. It kind of blended in, so I kind of missed it a little bit. But people actually play the piano when they're there. There goes the Claire's. That was the location of the Twin movie theater back in here, and the store next to it. That's where the original movie theater was at, just in case you were wondering. Sadly, I found out that this Chick-fil-A is the location for the original Burger King that was still in the 90's. Apparently, it is no longer there. Sadly, there goes the T-Mobile store. I should have got a new phone, but I didn't. I'm just trying to wait for the right time. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about it. Now, coming up, as somebody who loves art, this was a really interesting store. I wish I knew the name of this store. If you know the name, please leave it in the comments. I am highly curious to find out what this was. Like, the artwork to me was amazing. You could see like they had big murals. Like right here, it had the Pink Panther. It had like Tom and Jerry. It had Johnny Bravo. It had like all the characters I grew up watching on Cartoon Network and stuff. So I was curious about that. If you know, please let me know in the comments. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, I don't want it. Now, right here, this was pretty interesting to me. This is where the original Strawbridge and Clothier was. It opened August 11th in 1983, and it remained here until 2006 when it became a Macy's. And as you can see, as we're approaching, all these stores were closed, but you can still see the setups inside. Now, here's something that I was thrown off about that I never really knew a lot about, but the Strawbridge and Clothier Seal of Confidence and the way they have it all separated by, just by like separated so you can definitely see it. Kind of, it kind of amazed me. I like that. And here we come up to my favorite designs in the mall, and they seem to be in every mall, the old Hollister setups. Now I'm curious, is this where the Woolworth was? I need answers. So if you know, please let me know if this was where the Woolworth was. Seems Hollister took over every Woolworth. So I'm just gonna assume from past experiences, this is where the Woolworth was. And one final note, in 2020, the Nemdar Reality Corporation bought the Concord Mall, and a lot of people say is they're the reason why this mall is going down. So after what you saw, if you know anything about this mall, please let me know if you feel like this mall is going down. If it's the fact that the Christiana Mall is just more popular, or what do you think about why this mall is slowly going down? Um, yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I had to go check out the payphones one last time, you know, like a little kid, but it is what it is. This has to be one of my more. I like this mall. It's probably on my top list, even though it's dying. I still like the way it's designed. I like the way it looks. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you stay tuned and check out the next one. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope everyone has a good day, and I'll see you on the next one.